Days Vault, my fellow gamers. Here I just wanted to do a quick update on this thing, the steel Behemoth. So, after I pulled it all apart, these front legs, they actually were canted up if I had these back legs on the ground. That's how weird this model was originally put together. Since this is all ball socket joint stuff, you can see the peg with the ball socket there. It goes into the hole. It's very good for models to be assembled, or to be built this way, because it allows you to have flexibility, especially with these quadrupeds and getting their feet to line up and whatnot. But it doesn't work if you don't line everything up and place it down on a flat surface. So, and then you can see all these crazy angles and whatnot. So what it was is that the person that built this with the leg assuming to be flat, and in all reality it was at a weird angle. So what I did is I chose to have these back legs as flat as I could have it. This one was a bit up, but it still wasn't too bad. If you remember, this foot was the only thing that was still connected to this base. But this leg was still on and secure. This leg was off, and I had to glue that, and the two front legs were ripped off. What I did, this back skirt piece, I just cleaned this up to make it look like it's a legit part of the chassis here, and it would look better than having an empty spot here. But when you put on the skirt, this lines up, this whole peg lines up with the chain, but this one does not line up because this foot is too far back. It needs to be canted more forward. This needs to be up in order for this peg to line up. This back piece bumps it. Technically, I could carve that back piece off and everything would line up, but I think this is fine how it is. Plus, I think this is a bit goofy for painting, it would have lined up if I didn't carve everything off, but then, that does not line up, and it's just a little bit there. But anyway, so I played heck trying to get these things off. I put a chisel tip on my X-Acto and dug down deep. You can tell how much glue was used. I'm actually going to keep the glue marks there. I did knock them down substantially. You can tell very little of it's shiny, very little of it has raw raised edges. And I did knock it down so I can get most of the wood, but I can still see the areas where the models were glued. So I'll have kind of a footprint. Straightened up the horn to where that's matching. So this horn was really off kilter. Straightened that up quite a bit. The front piece here where the vents were had a mismold, and I wouldn't be able to have them look properly ever again with sculpting or any of that stuff. So what I did is I just made it battle damage. Just carved out little triangles and scraped them straight to give them a nice sharp look. But yeah, so I just jacked that up like it caught a rocket to the face or a cannonball or something to the face. So yes, I don't like this goofy skull thing, and I was planning on doing some green stuff to make it look like one of these guys. The shield up there with like a beard and mustache type thing. I was gonna carve off that bottom part and sculpt some stuff with green stuff, and I might still do it, but at this point I'm just happy to have this daggone thing together. It was kind of a nightmare of glue and digging and all that stuff. Once again, this leg was not straight. The foot joint wasn't straight or any of that stuff, so I've had to reposition them up. And this isn't done. I'm going to take my fancy foam, sculpting foam, and sculpt around here, get the cracks filled in, just make it look like a lump. Might actually cover it all in grass, flock, if you will. But it gives it more of an imposing look if it's up on a mound anyway. So I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about the battle damage, and actually I kind of like looking at all the detail that they put into the rear here with all the rivets and whatnot. So I'm okay with losing the battle skirt, and all this glue will be covered up by the models eventually. But let me tell you, that was some digging. It was very, very close. I mean, it's very thin and flimsy here, so I had to be very careful with this. And it took a fair bit of elbow grease to get it, and there was some gouging, you can tell. But everything is good so far. Back here I had a massive slip mold, so covered it with some green stuff, and then to make it ultra smooth, I put some of my foam on top, sanded it flat, and now it's good to go. It's going to look just like this when it's primed up. It's going to be excellent. So the steel Behemoth is ready to go. So I just have this dude. This was the hard one to get off, man, and I dug right back behind here and look at all that. And see, it wasn't even thoroughly cleaned. It still has a little bit of a nub, so that's probably what saved me from not being able to get it off at all, was that it wasn't sitting quite flush. So this guy, and the yawn barrel, I've cleaned a bunch of this barrel off. Not going to worry about that because it sits down on it. But these three items I want to paint separately and then mount them onto the back end of Homegirl. So there's only one piece that I'm missing, and that's giant goofy skirt, which I'm perfectly fine with missing that. So we've got these pieces. Also, I've got a whole row of lances for the Revenant Cavalry. I bought that Elite Army pack, and that came with 2 regiments of, or no, I guess it's 2, no, it's 2 regiments, because it's 10 models for cavalry is a regiment. So it came with 2 regiments of Revenant Cavalry, so I just did my best to straighten all the spears. Good thing they're undead, so you can see some ultra crookedness going on there. But let me tell you, these are far better than the that they were. These look so much straighter. So what I'll do is I'll choose the best ones. That one might not make the cut, because I'll still do like standard bearers and whatnot, because I like to have flexibility in my miniatures, not just build it strictly for one game, but have options. So those guys will be coming up soon, I suppose. But I wanted to share this thing here because it's been a lot of work. Just getting it together, back together in a clean manner so it can be primed. I think I might go ahead and struggle with this front part because the skull looks goofy. It's out of place. You have all this nice dwarf stuff on the side skirt here, or castling bit, and the doors are actually sculpted very nice on this model. But yeah, the skull just doesn't make sense, so I'm gonna sculpt some beard down underneath that helmet, and it should be good. But anyway, I hope you guys are taking it easy. Hopefully you're excited for the Christmas season. And yeah, don't go crazy. All right, carry a liaison.